Welcome to our new stream. I'm just checking how it will feel inside of my shoe, and I took the biggest one. Okay, I will fix it. Now, stiffeners. It's the inner part of our shoes, and it keep the stiffeners keep the shape of our shoe. It keep the shape in the back part, and also keep the shape in the front part. Also, it especially in the front part, it protects our toes, because some heavy materials can fall down, or when you're walking on the streets, I don't know, something can happen. So it will protect the feet, because it has durable construction, and it protects feet, and in the same way it keeps the shape of our shoes. And the shape of the shoes depends on the shape of the shoe last. For example, this shoe last has this shape, so when the shoes made on this shoe last will be finished, we will take our finished shoes out of the shoe last, this shape will stay the same. Okay, so there is a difference, for example, between barefoot shoes, like we made barefoot shoes, where we didn't place any stiffeners, we didn't place any insoles, and because this is the type of footwear that requires this approach. Okay, this is the main main theory of this barefoot shoes, where they don't have any stiffeners. Okay, but in traditional shoes we must have the stiffeners, because without the stiffeners, if we will make our shoes, for example, without the toe puff, we will wear them, what will happen? Our feet here will when it with stiffeners, because of the shape, our toes goes like lays like this. Okay, and without the stiffeners, they will lay normally, because this is our normal position of the toes. So you will see that these shapes start be deformed because of the shape of our toes. Okay, and we will not have here any pointed toe. It will have some rounded, some not nice shape. Okay, because the combination of the pointed toe and our natural feet, shape of our feet will create this some strange deformation. Okay, so how stiffeners are done? We make them. First, we need to make a pattern, and to make pattern of stiffeners, we need to have pattern of our shoes. Usually, I make stiffeners using basic pattern. For example, if I want to create counters, I use the back part of the basic pattern. Okay, so this is, for example, this is pattern of the upper, and for the toe, for the puff toe, we can use upper pattern and create pattern for the toe. Okay, Bonna, do you have some pencil? Do you have some pencil? I forgot. Here we together with the Bonnet, Branislav.
Hello.
Branislav. I work in his space. So if you will not make pattern of your stiffeners, for example, you will want to use ready-made stiffeners that you can buy in some special store for the shoemaking. They sell it in bigger sizes. Okay, so what happens if you use the same one that you buy? It will not it could be not suitable for the shoes that you work with because of the size, because of the shape, and that's why ready-made stiffeners that could be made out of leather or salpa, this material I will show you later, we need to correct them, okay? Cut extra to have precise stiffeners. If you will not do it, you will have very difficult work, okay? Bunny, do you use ready-made stiffeners? Do you use ready-made stiffeners? Do you use ready-made stiffeners?
No, usually not.
No. Okay.
Because I made bespoke and sometimes
It will not,
not.
yes, this is what I'm talking about, that it sometimes will not suit. It's not sometimes, it always will not suit.
Very pair are made specific.
Okay, so now I will make very fast pattern of the toe puff. And then I will show you how we cut and which materials we can use. To make stiffeners. I personally like to work with leather stiffeners. I work also with the chemical non-woven material, but recently I start to have some difficulty working with the cemented glue. It has such a strong smell, so that's why I prefer to work with leather stiffeners, because here to apply leather stiffeners we need to use special paste. We can make this paste at home like we did recently when we shooted our latest shoe course, kids shoes, T-bar kids shoes. We made then their leather stiffeners, and we prepared the paste ourselves, also in loafers course and in derby shoe course. Okay, so you can make this paste based on water at your home, but also there is a special name, and I forgot this name. It's very difficult name to pronounce. Hirschkleber, yes, Hirschkleber paste that you can buy and use it instead of making your own paste, because homemade paste will stay not for a long time. Okay, I remember you told me that you keep it in frigidaire, in freeze, yes? In freeze or in frigidaire? Freezer. Okay, so I also keep it in frigidaire, but it will be valid only for 2 weeks, because later it will be sore. Okay. Now this stiffeners I need to fix a little bit because I took the wrong one. Just a minute. I will need to. You see, already this one, for example, I made for another model of mine, and by mistake I took this one, but actually here I don't have such a big space, because how we work with the stiffeners during lasting, we need to open here and apply our stiffeners between upper and lining. This model that I made has such a small space here, and it requires special type of stiffeners, and that's why we need to make always our stiffeners using basic pattern of our shoes, or also pattern of the upper. Okay, so and this is also one of the reasons why I prefer to work with leather stiffeners, because in the models like this, where I have such a small space, it will be very difficult to use another material that we can use in making shoes, and a lot of courses we use this material. We call it non-woven chemical sheets, and Barney prefer to work with this one. He has his own reasons. Okay, I will show you this one. That now it's hard, but we can melt it using solvent or cemented glue, neoprene glue that we work with during lasting. Okay, and because it's with the glue, if I will place it not correctly here in such a tiny space, I can ruin my work. Okay, so that's why I prefer to work slowly, easy, to make sure that everything will be fine. And that's why with leather stiffeners you have this time. Okay, you don't need to rush, because if, for example, with non-woven chemical material it dries fast, here working with leather stiffeners it doesn't dry so fast like the non-woven chemical material. Because how we work with leather stiffeners, we place it in water and it comes with moisture. Okay, and this what gives the leather this flexible and soft quality. Okay, and we have a lot of time before the stiffeners will dry. Okay, and that's why I prefer to use the leather stiffeners. And now, just a minute, I will need to correct this pattern. I checked how it always also a good practice before you start cutting leather stiffeners, like we did in T-bar shoes. Before you do all this difficult work, not difficult, it requires some experience, but you need to cut leather, you need to skive it, you need to place it in the water, wait until it will dry a little bit, and then work with it. Okay, so that's why before we'll start to work with leather stiffeners, it's better to check our pattern. And you saw how I did it in the beginning. I just opened here such a tiny space, and here I will need to place it. And you see, even if this pattern out of cardboard, I can place it in between, and I immediately see that I have too big, too wide stiffeners here, because it's difficult to place it in such a small space, and I need to correct it. Okay, you see, even here, for example, if I will place it on the top of the upper, it will touch this seam that I have, so I need to correct it. Again, I will check it. Well, see this material you have, this is salpa. Do you work with it? Do you work with the salpa?
I don't know, once or twice I use it. And I know
In
people
Italy, they use it a
work
lot.
with this every day.
You know, it
Because
comes.
this
Yes,
for factory
yes,
is made
already,
from this.
yeah, I
from
know.
this material.
This one is skived. This is the salpa. You know that same material same material uses in bag making. Okay, to have some rigid, where the bag has some rigid places, they use this material Salsa. Okay, so this is how it comes in factories. It's out of Salpa, but it's already pre-shaped. The edges are also scarred because the Salpa you saw has a thickness of, I think, 2 millimeters, and it's too thick, especially in the edges, and they scarred it on this edge and also on the lasting edge. Okay, in order to not have any thick edges that will extend from the upper. Okay, and will have not a nice look. Okay, so I will need to use it like this to scratch it a little bit in order to see if I have here enough space to place it. Okay. I ruined it a little bit, but still I can use it, and it's okay. Now, what leather we use for stiffeners? We use vegetable tan leather because only vegetable tan leather can keep the shape. Okay, what does it mean? You see, this is how it looks, vegetable tan leather. It can be out of different parts of the hide. Usually for the stiffeners we use the shoulder part and the neck part, sometimes belly part, but belly, yes, belly is very soft and fleshy. Okay, so it comes with a thickness of 2 plus minus 1 millimeter, something like this, and remember that to make stiffeners that will keep the shape, use only vegetable tan leather, because if you will use something else, you will think that this is vegetable tan leather, you will not have same result. It's one of the problems that can happen in making stiffeners out of leather when you choose not correct type of leather. Also, there is a synthetic leather that looks like vegetable tan leather. Okay, also be aware of this. Synthetic leather can't use for stiffeners. It will never keep the shape, even if it looks like a real leather. There is some steps how you can check if it's synthetic or not. First of all, you need to smell it, to scratch it, to see how it's done inside. Okay, this is first steps to check if it's synthetic leather, some not real leather, or real vegetable tan leather. Okay, it has good smell. Remember, I like the smell a lot. So this one, you see, it's more soft than this one. It's a little bit harder. Okay, but when we will cut it, we will place it in the water, it will become very soft and flexible, and we can use both of them. Now I will use this one. So how we work with this natural material? After we made a pattern that must be correct, check it before you will start cutting. Okay, and then we transfer to the leather. Now we'll cut. I will cut it. I will cut it using simple knife, utility knife. Bunny prefers to cut with the scissors, special scissors. This one you work with.
And the other one.
But excuse me,
Oh,
it falls. It happens. Okay. Yes. It's okay. Okay. So, Vana uses this scissors. I will use utility knife because this is how I habituated. Okay. So, this leather is a little bit hard, but there is a trick how to cut. First, we'll need to make first cut. It's not deep because leather is stiff, and then we will bend it like this. Now here even few cuts. You see, you don't need to have any special tools. I always work with the same utility knife, and Vana has excellent blade. I like this blade a lot. It's you see there is a difference between normal blade, like we know, usually it looks like this, but I prefer this one because it has a little bit narrow edge. It's about 30 grade here. Okay, grades, degrees, not grades, sorry, degrees. I forgot the word. Okay, so it's easier to work with because we can enter inside of the leather deeper because of this angle that it has. And now the top of course you need to cut for the pair, and later I will cut the, no, I will not film it because it's the same procedure. So here you see I will bend it after I will enter with the knife. Here it's a little bit difficult to bend it because I have no space for it, so I will cut it a few times. And that's it. Okay, now it's ready, almost ready. Now we need to scratch it with glass, or also sometimes I also can scratch it with the edge of the blade. Now Barney will give me his piece of glass. It's a very important step because you see, leather has this kind of glance surface, and to attach it between upper and lining, to attach it better, we must remove this thin layer. This is, don't forget this step. It's a very small step, but you know, in each, even in each small step of making shoes, there is a few important moments. Even if this part of our work is just a stiffeners, just part of leather, but it must we must do few important operations to make sure that our stiffeners will come out with nice shape, with correct thickness, that we will attach it with the right side to the upper and lining. Okay, because here you see it will have few surfaces. And it's very important because if you will not do it, especially with leather stiffeners, you will have some bumps that you can feel inside of the shoes. Okay, if you will not work with the piece of glass in order to flatten it after we finish skiving, you will have a lot of bumps that will make your shoes not comfortable. Okay, and that's why the stiffeners, if we will not respect them, we will have not comfortable shoes. Just imagine that you, for example, you skived here. You see we have here thick edge, and if I will place it like this between upper and lining, and I will apply it here, you will see this thick edge. Okay, so it's very important to work with stiffeners in the right way, where it will have the shape of our pattern in some, with a few differences between the edge of the upper and edge of the stiffeners, but it repeats the shape of our upper and lining. It will be skived properly, because if you will not skive, you will have a few problems here. One of them, you will see this edge here, and during classing, if it will not be skived well, it will be very difficult to have flat shoe, to have flat bottom. Okay, and if it will be very thick with the folds, we will not be able to flatten it. Okay, it must have it must be made with proper using this approach that I showed you, that it we need to check it so the pattern will have the correct shape. And you remember, Bunny, when we work with the kids' shoes, a few times fixed the stiffeners, because stiffeners during skiving stretches, okay, and deforms, and it becomes long. For example, in the toe, in the kids' shoes, we will have very small stiffener, and when we skived, when Bunny skived, it become very long, so we need to fix it. And so you need to be aware of all these small steps in making stiffeners, okay? And this step that I did like a few minutes ago with the glass, also very important step, because if I will not remove this glance appearance, the paste will not penetrate inside of leather. It will stay like covered on the this glance surface of leather, and it will not be attached. It will stay on the top of the topa with a thick layer that will be durable. Okay, the paste. What is the problem with the paste? It's not a problem. It's quality of the paste. It becomes a little bit durable. It gives extra durability, extra hardness to the leather stiffeners. Okay, and if it will stay only on the top surface of stiffeners, the stiffeners will be soft because it will out of leather, but this layer, thick layer, will stay on top of this and it will look like it's very hard. And what will happen during wearing, especially if you did not correct pattern and created too wide stiffeners, that will go here in the place where we bend our feet during walking. You will have here, you remember, these shoes where you have a lot of folds here in this place. It's because the stiffeners, sometimes it's not one of the reasons, it's because stiffeners attach too high and they reach a little bit hard, and because it's if it's out of leather or out of thermoplastic material or chemical non-woven material, it will create folds inside of the upper. Okay, so that's why pattern must be correct. All the steps must be involved in the making of stiffeners, especially in making of leather stiffeners. Okay, it requires a little bit more care than all other materials, but it has this material has its advantages as well. Okay, like it's natural material, it's very nice to work with. You have here you are not limited with the time during lasting of the shoes working with leather stiffeners. Okay, also it's very sourceable material. You can buy it, I think, without any problems. Okay, and what happens with other materials? Now we will place it in the water to be. Do you have some? I forgot to ask you. Do you have some? Okay, we'll place it later. So what is the next step in working with the leather stiffeners is to place them in some container with water a few hours. You will see after bubbles will not come out from the leather. It means that the leather stiffeners already are soaked fully in water. Then you need to place it in overlap it in some old newspaper, traditional way. Bunny likes it a lot. Yes, Bunny.
I didn't follow you.
There is a reason why we place the leather stiffeners in old paper.
Yeah, to
Newspaper.
dry, but not too much dry.
Yeah.
To keep some percent of the wet.
Yeah, and it's
exactly
something.
as you need to
Not,
working.
it's why shoemakers use old newspapers.
Because newspapers, this paper absorb
water.
water.
Better than other type of, for example,
Yeah.
some.
Sometimes in some fabric,
Yeah.
piece of fabric. And
Also, but it's
and-
not. It will not dry too fast with the fabric.
no. Also, you put the in bag, nylon,
Yes,
the
in
bag,
nylon bag.
and
To prevent this
to prevent to be
drying
dry,
faster. I don't know.
fast
Yeah.
drying.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we place it. So
Usually, the master prepare to work next day.
yes.
Next day to stay overnight, and the next morning start to work with this
Yeah.
skiving and
Yeah.
busting.
Because it's enough time that leather will not be too much dry, because when leather will dry it will be difficult to skive it and to create this shape following the shape of the shoe last. And in the same way it will be not too much wet, because if it wet too much during skiving your knife will slide. It will be very difficult to insert the knife inside leather stiffeners that fully stay fully with water when the water is not dry a little bit. Okay, dry a little bit. So this is the way you overlap it in newspaper. You can put it in some plastic bag and wait overnight. Okay, and then you need to skive it well. We need to skive the edge, the top edge, the bottom edge, both of them, to have thin edge. Where is this? This one. I will show you. This an example of this stiffener, the counter. I will show the edge that must be when we skive. The result, the final result of skived leather. You see, it must be like this. If it's too thin, it also could be a problem, because when it's too thin, when you place it between upper and lining, it may bend like this, and you will not see it. Okay, you can miss it, and after finishing your shoes, it's not only after finishing, during lasting, during shaping with the hammer. We shape it with the hammer here to create nice shape. So during this step of shaping with the hammer, you will see some fold, and you will not know why it fold created in this place. And one of the reasons is because the thin edge that you skive too much bended, folded inside. Okay, and it dried with this fold, and it's very difficult to erase it. With the hammer you can hit, it still will stay. It still, you will feel some kind of bump. If it's in some place here, it's not a big problem. It's just problem of the look. But it could be a big problem here in this place, because if it will bend here, you will have, first of all, you will have. It's okay that I bend it here, Bunny. You will use. It's okay that I bend it here.
Yeah,
I think I will break it.
I don't use it.
Okay.
That's simple.
Because maybe you will use it and I break it. Okay, so in this place, when it bended like this, first step is mistake. Big mistake is that you will have gap between the edge of the upper. Here I don't have this edge because I have that, but still I will see it. So you will have here empty space without any stiffeners. Okay, and it also during wearing it create here some fold. Okay, it could be look like it broken here in this place. Okay, this mistake number one. Huge mistake number two is that if the stiffener will bend inside like this, it may bother your feet during wearing. Okay, it will be too thick in the middle of your heel here, in the middle of the back, and in such a sensitive place here. Always we have some problems with the shoes, especially with ready-made shoes. And just imagine that here you have some thick fold, and this place will bother your feet during wearing shoes. And with hammer you will not erase it, you will not fix it. It will stay here inside of your shoes. So it also can happen with all other materials. With non-woven chemical material also can happen. It's not just problem with leather stiffeners. Okay, so remember about this small mistake, not small, one of the mistakes that beginners can do. Right thickness of the skived edge, not too thick, not too thin. It's like this. Okay, so here we skive and here also, and we need to skive approximately the lasting allowance that we have here, because if you will skive it just a little bit, thickness, the original thickness will stay here. For example, if it's 2 millimeters, you will have here too thick edge, and also during lasting you will have here big problems with the folds. Okay, you will not be able to create flat surface, and we need to have here flat surface because here we will attach our insole, not insole. So I will show you my sew, ready-made sew. Here, for example, I don't have a sole because here comes heel, but also with the heel, if here we will have some bumps because of the thickness of the stiffeners, the heel will not lay perfectly on the shoe last. It will twisted, okay, in the curved places where we have folds, and it will be very difficult to attach the heel. Okay, because you will have some fold here, and on the other side you will not have the fold, so the heel will stay crooked. Okay, so remember about all these important moments of making stiffeners. It's such a tiny detail, hidden detail, but it's very important part of our shoes, because from this part will depend also the comfort of your shoes. And I already mentioned what problems could be with the stiffeners and how it will influence on the comfort and beauty of our shoes. Okay, so there is other materials like non-woven chemical sheets. I think I showed already, yes, and thermoplastic I will show you. I personally never work with thermoplastic.
Industrial production is not for, cannot, because when
a lot of heat. Yes.
Make them
flexible.
Yeah. But you have no time for lasting, because it's very short time for lasting. Yeah. This is just for industrial production, because you have a lasting machine and second.
In the synthesis course we use different type of thermoplastic.
We're using this one for toe.
This one has time for preparing the shape, and we used it for the toe puff. For the counters, don't use it. It will be difficult in this place. Where is it? In course, place it. How it works? We need to activate it. We need to make it soft and flexible with heating. Okay, and when we heat it, it's very hot, and it will be difficult to place it with your hands, with your fingers between upper and lining. Okay, so we don't use it. Remember, I think some of students ask me about thermoplastic. So if you want to use it only for the toe puffs, like we did in the sneakers making course. Okay, so I will place it later in water, and we continue with my work with my shoes. You see, it has upper like this with elastics. I like elastics, and with the insole here. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so you can choose any material that you will like to work with, but among all these materials, I prefer leather or non-woven chemical sheets. Okay, and this is material that we use a lot in all our courses. Okay, so if you have questions, you can ask below this video. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next. Thank you, Bane. Branislav. Branislav, I call him Bane. Yes, short. Yeah. Okay, Bane. And thank you, guys. See you in the next YouTube stream, live stream. Okay, bye.